Welcome, everyone. This is episode 6 of a new YNAB podcast series, Debt Stories, Real People, Beating Debt, and Winning Financially. Today's story is a testament to the power of budgeting and how, no matter how responsible you might already be with your money, what a difference a budget can make. We're about to meet Sydney. She stays home with the boys, and her husband is an accountant.
We were always fine. We always had enough to cover our needs and put a little bit away. We didn't really have to think about it too much. I did try to budget before YNAB, but mostly to me it just ended up being that I tried not to spend any money at all.
And just like any diet that's too restrictive, when the frustration becomes too overwhelming, when it really just gets to you, well,
I would sort of binge.
Sydney says she'd noticed something like her clothes were old and falling apart, so she'd go on an $800 shopping spree.
It wasn't very planned out. It didn't work super well.
So, not bad. They were getting by and even saving a little. But when Sydney's husband lost his job, things started to turn.
Almost a year and a half, we were just kind of living off of savings, and then, we still had all of our expenses. It came to September of 2016 and got another job. It was kind of like we just hadn't been paying attention at all. It's like we knew that things weren't really good. We didn't really want to look. We were about $15,000 in credit card debt. So that was like really depressing.
A $15,000 credit card bill plus interest is no joke. But considering that they'd gone for more than a year and a half without income, it could have been much worse. Thank goodness they had savings to lean on.
I actually knew about YNAB during that time because I had a friend on Facebook that just raved about it. Our living expenses were fairly inexpensive. I kept thinking, well, as soon as we have an income, I really want to try out this YNAB. Looking back, I am like, it would have been perfect I could have budgeted out every month and said, this is all we have for this month until, So I finally signed up for the free trial. It just made all the difference.
As you can probably imagine, it wasn't hard for Sydney to convince her accountant husband that they should try out budgeting to pay off their credit card balance.
We're lucky that we're like-minded in that way about our finances, and he was definitely on board to just kind of hit it hard and take care of it as soon as we could. We just went down the list of our expenses and found where we could cut back. We changed our phone plans so we weren't paying for as much data, and we realized that we were still spending like $500 a month eating out, which is just ridiculous now looking back on it. It really just made us super aware of our spending habits in a way that we hadn't been before. It was just so nice to have things like clothes built into the budget. I kind of talked about how I would binge, and it was just so nice to kind of have permission.
You know what else is nice to have? A zero balance on your credit card. And that's exactly what Sydney's family achieved. Her husband started his new job in September of 2016, and by March 2017, just 6 months later, they'd paid off the entire $15,000.
It's gone. We hit it so hard. It was like our main focus, and I think, focusing on it like that for any longer than that probably wouldn't have been super healthy, but it's just all that we thought about. My husband picked up overtime. I picked up babysitting jobs, and so as of March, it's paid off. We have some student loans. Now that we're kind of in the groove, we're like, we should probably work on these pretty hard too. It changed our mindset.
What a change. A year ago, Sydney's family spent $500 a month eating out. And now?
I budget about $75 to $100, but it still is a little bit of a guilty pleasure. I am kind of like that. When we were in the strict pay down of that debt phase, it was nothing. It was like $20, if that. I for having a cousin come in from out of state and her wanting to go get a smoothie. And so I took my kids with me and I ordered a medium smoothie and had them split it into 3 cups, so that I could just pay for one smoothie.
Talk about a shift in mindset. Cutting back from $500 to less than $20 a month as they paid off their credit card, and now feeling guilty about spending under $100 per month. Watch out. Debt repayment is addictive. Now, Sydney and her husband have their sights set on paying down roughly $20,000 in student loans, although they're factoring in quality of life as well.
Now we're at birthdays. One of them is having a birthday next week. We'll probably maybe go do something fun that costs money as a family, that type of thing. So I've definitely let off a little bit on that.
Compared to before, they're still spending far less at restaurants, obviously, and there's the phone bill.
We were probably paying like $200 a month, and then it's gone down to $150.
Sydney also keeps an eye on their grocery spending.
We're spending about $650 for our family of 4. I like to make sure that we're eating healthy, so it's something that I don't want to give up too much of. I'm just grateful for the change in the mindset, really.
Their current situation is a 180-degree turn from where their family was a year ago, financially and mentally.
I was so stressed out. And honestly, when I first put everything into YNAB the first time, that didn't help. The very first time that I saw it all written down, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was so stressed out and so depressed. It's definitely a lot better. It's just so nice to know that if I use a credit card, I automatically have the money put there to pay off. We tell everyone that it has revolutionized our finances. We've never felt so in control.
Never felt so in control. That, to counter your possible negative self-talk that you'll never be able to do this. You can, you are, you'll get there. And you will also be able to say you've never felt so in control.